How's it going? Uh, Paulina here. I'm talking to you a little bit about your relationship to Source. And wow, we do have Pluto in your sign, so you're like wondering, what is this? What is this? I can't find any information about it in any blog. Yeah, well, it's because this is where people struggle. Pluto feels good. Pluto, if you have it in your first house, if you have it on the ascendant, it's like, F yeah, fuck yeah, I love my life. You know, this is where it's at. Okay. We probably have something in common. I also have Pluto almost on my ascendant line in 12th house. It's a very, very hard place to be, though. It's a very, very difficult situation. You don't have it. You don't know that you don't have it, but you still keep on going. It's a very, very difficult relationship that you might have with your children, with your future, with your husband, with your partner, anything. It could be so out of line. And then Aquarius is like, okay, give it to me. What have you got? Now, the thing basically is to stop wanting and to stop suffering. Also, if you have quite a timeline, a family line of suffrage, say with the people in your family complaining about money and complaining about their life, there are certain people in the world that are prone to suffering because their culture is based on it. So, for example, I sometimes see a lot of Irish people that have had some really crazy shit go down in their lives, and they're still processing it generations later. I've had a Russian Orthodox upbringing as well, so I really know what like crying for nothing is about. Crying, constantly praying. There are lots of people like us in the world. There's lots of ancient Slavs and even Celts that are traditionally considered better off if they cry. So crying and asking and why, you know, and like women stuff, like feminism and, you know, like gender stuff and like all of this stuff, like basic, I'm not making fun. All of this stuff basically makes a very, very nice solid ball of energy, which is what Pluto is. It is like a solidification. And yes, in parts, Pluto can lead to cancer and abscesses in the body also because of this ongoing knowing pain and understanding that nothing can be done and like leave me alone and oh my god, liver function also, liver, okay, liver is very bad sometimes with ascendant Pluto and Pluto first house. Now, this is not something that you need to necessarily understand because I know most people that come to my channel will not want to know anything about this, but how about herbalism? Recognizing, yes, you are prone to disease and all of that stuff already as a sign. Just letting you know, there is a nakshatra, Vedic nakshatra, like about in the middle somewhere of Aquarius, that basically is called the one that needs 100 surgeons or doctors. So like the person that needs to see people for healing constantly. That is within Aquarius, even though we're in the age of Aquarius, everybody's like, wow, like variety. And egocentric energies really thrive during this time. But let's take you back into yourself, into your body. And I'm going to try to help you. A lot of volcanism, a lot of addiction, like, you know, chewing on nails, having like really sexy or emotional thoughts, like being like really not proud of something in the world, having to go to town, like protests, feeling ill and scared and emotional. And it's like, well, how can this be? This is like Nazi Germany, you know, like all of this stuff. Very, very exquisite and emotional works of art are going to come through some Aquarians. Just some personalities during this time, very much personality crisis, and there's a lot of fear. And there's a lot of danger, and there is a lot of volcanism. And the first thing I go to is, I'm sorry, I'm so boring, is the liver. Is the liver. It is also the kidney channel. I've worked on this all last year. I got to tell you, God saved me from quite a lot of things in my life, and definitely certain infections have been one of those things. And tell you what, you think it's you. You think it's my mother's line. I got so much trauma. I got so much heartache. Nobody understands me. Everybody like loves me and then they hate me, and then God didn't give me what he gave you, and God will not tell me the truth, and you know, like all of this really extreme sick stuff or very incredible sexual stuff or very sentimental stuff. Well, basically, don't worry, I will just put it down to liver, and I will put it down to, in some people's cases, the lungs. and the kidneys. Also, if you want to get it all working, I'm serious, you guys, go the detox way, go the long way. It is the long way. It is the long way. It is the long way, but it is the better way. Okay, like cleansing the body, cleansing the bowels. If you ever have that, oh, why me? Try to go directly through the actual liver canal, the actual liver channel, and trying to also, interesting, abstract from other people that tell you so. Yeah, that's the life that we live. It's hard here now. You're like, oh, so all of this. Also, eyes. Aquarius is the third eye in some ways. And yes, they have a lot of blocks in their eye channels. A lot of Aquarian people, when they get old, they lose sight or start to lose their sight. And it's very, very appropriate and important to consider the lung to gut connection, okay, for the mind, lungs and guts, and also the liver to the brain, and also to this area here. So if you don't want to feel damaged anymore, please, please circulate some energy in your body and try to walk away from any formalizations with other people, like telling them some things they'll never be able to forget. Pluto has a very big marking energy. It's like a giant sword. So if you're talking to somebody and you're telling them some very hardcore stuff, that might never come out in the wash. Be very careful of your tongue and what you say. Also, all of these like things we're building, like upon the mystery of life or the misery of life, shamanic, crazy, weird, arty, sexy, scared, freakish stuff. All of this energy that basically is all built up in Aquarius right now is a very, very scary sign for some people. So basically already, as we began this transit in 2023, you might already see people are just like, I don't like the smell of it. I don't want this. I don't want this. People are getting fussy. So this is starting in rabbit year. There's Saturn still in Aquarius. Okay, so basically the best thing to do is not to get through and into other people's lives with sad, ravenous, tearful remarks, not to make people promise you things, not to get unconsciously manipulative or angry or egoic. How dare you? How much time do I have for this? All of this really epic theatric. It's not actually theatric. It's not theater. It's not just theater. It's actually what the soul thinks it wants to experience. All the depth and vulnerability at the start of Pluto going for Aquarius is going to cost you so much. It's going to cost you so much. So if you are telling people what to do and then making them lower than you, make them break themselves up for you, if you're pushing on people, if you're starting to control people, if you are telling people some very shameful energies, like stories, if you're pushing people down, if you are, for example, dealing with derogatory materials, even if you don't think they are derogatory, like, for example, sex industry. Oh no, it's normal. No, it isn't. Okay, sex industry, working with people that are deep or dark, taking drugs, being with mafia people or owners of certain type of conglomerates, organizations, being a supporter. Well, you probably don't even know about this. A supporter of a brand or a famous person that's probably part of some very, very sick cult, and trying to spread their name or their message or playing their music out in public. Even that is going to cost you big. Teaching children to be bad people, or teaching children how to dress. Like, some people think it's really cute, like they dress their boys as girls and girls as boys, and they think it's really cute, and then they're like, I got a trendy kid, like they're kind of trans. It's like, no, leave your kid alone. It's just leave them alone. Just leave your kids alone. Okay, so all of this, like trying to touch other people, trying to make them weave a story, trying to make them want things that are illicit or out of their reach, also wanting sex or emotions to go into the next level, and asking people to pay you attention for something that they're not even meant to pay you attention for. Also trying to seduce people, and being a seductive personality is going to be, haha, okay, fine, I didn't even know what I was doing. 3 years later, okay, 2023, already now actually 2023, is going to start to cost you, and it's going to start to humble you in other ways. It's like, I'm an OnlyFans model. What are you saying humbling? Like, what is this? It's like, yeah, okay, for example, you're spreading something around, like say you're spreading your body around, or you're spreading sex logic or sex magic or whatever, you're giving people drugs, for example, you're carrying a message that has to do with the elites. Also, satanic cults, why don't we just go there right now? Also, any kind of government propaganda, you know, so you're giving out the pamphlets, or you're trying to show something that obviously comes from the other side. I'm sorry, I go there sometimes really quick, and that's not something that people are ready for. If you are sexualized online, if you are making money from it, if you're making money from, say, your friends or your peers, doing things for you that they shouldn't be doing for you, if you are doing things behind other people's backs, you might feel, how could I say, ostracized later. But at the time you're doing it, you might not think it was a bad idea. So what? Like, I do what I want. Yeah, so what? Like, my kid walks around like in Halloween costumes all the time. So what? Who are you to tell me what to do? It's like, yeah, today that kid is like 5 or 6 years old. When they're 12 or 14 years old, it's going to be a different story. So it's not like about this. It's not actually just about like, oh, whatever, like, it was fun. No, what? I can cry if I want. I can say whatever I want. That's very Pluto. I can do what I like. That thing here, no. We get to pay sometimes very, very bad prices. We have to pay the price for something that we said and done while we were under Plutonian rule or energy. So, for example, envy, sex, obsession, gluttony, wanting a lot of chocolate, wanting a lot of friends, wanting to make impressions, wanting to be seen, and wanting to be loved, and having this and having that, like really, really psychotic, emotional, and uprising, emotional, like deep experiences. That's not going to be very easy later on to pay for. So, okay, come 2026, nobody will employ you, nobody likes you, there's stuff. There are like files, okay, on your accounts. Certain people are gonna start to make files. It's gonna probably start with the public, and then it's going to be like just a thing that people do. They'll even make apps for this, reporting people online. Like, this person like dresses their child like this, or like this person has, you know, said they would eat their dog, you know, and they thought it was a joke, but my God, that's really harmful. Like, people are going to start to basically look at you. It's like no harm done right now, but they're going to start to look at you and they go like, who is this person in society? And also, like, for example, we used to get into groups. Capricorn Pluto was a very deaf Pluto at the end. He couldn't really hear or feel. He was like fine with everything. It's like people get together and they like start jiving and grooving, and you hear the lyrics of the song or what people are saying. You're like, yeah, this is awesome. This is so ironic. This is so cool. This is so crazy. Yeah, this is cool. The same song in 2026. It's like, I'm going to freaking report this song. How dare they say that about women? How dare they say that about money or guns or whatever? How dare they say that? So it's not just about the rise of conservatism. It's just basically, Aquarius, you don't have any earth under your feet very, very fast if you're basically involving in any kind of behavior. But this might feel very easy. This is the thing. It might be very cheap and easy to live. In the first 3 years of this transit, it depends on how you're placed in the world and what society you belong in. For example, oh, I cry a little bit and the guy gives me money. Yeah, but inside of you, like, it's not a sinful place in a way, because you don't understand what you're doing. Please keep yourself in check. Ask your pastor, I don't know, your friends, like somebody, if you are going the right way. It's like, yeah, I lay in bed all day and I don't know, I just love myself and I touch myself and I love my life, and then I eat some, I don't know, garbage, and I go back to bed, smoke some weed, and then I go back to bed again, and then I watch some TV, and then I'm still in bed. That's very easy to do for a lot of Aquarians today. That's very easy. So like the path of laziness and tiredness and sinfulness and manipulation, not knowing that one is manipulative to another person, not knowing that they're manipulating. Pluto's going to make it very easy to be heard. Like, anything you're saying is maybe three times more loud than what you were saying last few years. Like, last few years you're like, oh, yeah. And now it's like, hi guys, what's up? So there's a need basically, yeah, to calm down. And the reason for this is because, brace yourselves, 2026, the jig is over. For example, the DPB that you're being paid is going to be not possible. People that are supporting you, also lovers, and like sex, Pluto is fertility. For example, being wanted, being loved, being cuddled by a certain person that is emotionally envious and sentimental and sexual and just cannot help themselves but want to be around you. That's going to fade off in some people's cases, not everybody, but there's going to be a very big bringing of light, and people are going to shine the light on you and what you got going on there. Also, certain diseases, like, there are people that are going to have to face it. Certain things are uncurable. That's not going to be surfaced as information probably for quite a long time, but some things are incurable. And why we have certain diseases and issues in society, because we've broken some laws. It's like, for example, we went and we just had unprotected sex with all the people in the village, for example, or we just had so many fun and games. It's like these unprotected situations is going to be that which eventually amounts to quite a burden in 2026. And then come like also 2024 already, you're going to see some of it start to crumble. So it's like a veneer. It's a beautiful baby-faced person, or it's like a beautiful sexy person. It's a very, very polite cat-like energy. Pluto is kind of like a cat energetically. It's like a big cat, like a tiger or a lion. It's a very, very good for you feeling. Some people really like it. There are people that don't have enough energy, don't have enough money, don't have enough worth, don't have enough systems at home that love a Plutonian person because they seem like they're beaming light. So you see, Pluto is kind of the prince of shadow. He's a prince of darkness. It's not light, but he's got. You see, it's like the opposite effect. I'm not saying that there is any kind of negligent or satanic thing. It's like a lord of the underworld. Pluto is Plutonian. It's not just like Plutonic. No, it's just not a nice guy, okay? Pluto energetically is not a very easy person. First house Pluto people, sometimes the ego is just out of this world. So, or the strength. So, for example, if you are like myself with Pluto on the ascendant, got to work out, and you got to think fast, and you got to be happy, and you got to keep things buoyant, and take things from underground and put them to light. Just say it like it's boring now. Like, look, it showed you everything. So like, it's very, very nice to get honest and to gain some trust. But also those of us that are very rare Aquarians that like keep on just doing and giving, it still might make you a little shy what happens later. So extroversion, show and tell, being in front of people can be costly later. 2026, it's gonna be a no-show to some people's games. Like, you are thinking, I'm getting so much customers, I'm getting paid so well today. It might not be you in 2026 values and the whole like holiness of society returns in some people, and they don't want that anywhere near them. So there's going to be these very, very rude people maybe saying no to anything that you're selling and doing. So don't dribble. Stop dribbling. It's very important not to do that today. And then 28 or 27, we're going to eventually start to get to know you better. So if you are hitting the ground, if you are falling from the heavens, if you have built yourself a career or situation that is all about you and all about how you think and feel, or it's all about your body or your sexuality or your opinions, that now already starts to be a little bit fragile and small in a lot of people's eyes. But the whole public system, the public opinion, isn't going to change until about 2028. And it is very easy for a very big cat with a lot of money or a lot of body or a lot of sexuality suddenly to be a little kitten in somebody's kitchen eating their leftovers. So that's the issue here. So if you are making like big bucks today, like you're on some kind of like software app program, I don't know, and you're doing very well, or you are making very good money out of the opposite sex, for example, or you're making even predatory money, this is not going to stay still. That's not going to be the stilling part of this particular Pluto. So in 2027, there's going to be quite a big drop-off of computer games, computer systems, computerized voices and personalities also going to F off, and there's going to be quite a lot of us telling ourselves what we do not want anymore. It might be in silence, it might be inside of our hearts and our systems, but all of that hype that you might have been preparing for, all that surgery that quite a lot of Aquarians might be having during this time, all of that, like the fake boobs and the fake teeth and the fake hair, all of that is going to inevitably start to get out of control because everybody's fighting for the best, or all that ego. And then inevitably, we are going to start to say, as a people, as a culture, in some place of the world, I don't want that in my life. That's a loud mouth. I don't want that in my life. I don't want that in my bed. Like all of that porn, all of that photography, all of that glitz and glamour, all of these beautiful legs and beautiful bodies. It's like, I don't like that. There's going to be quite a big generation of people growing up in the middle of Pluto Aquarian time towards the 2030s, where they're going to be like, hey, you know what? I just want to have a nice, normal life. I don't care about being a size 8. I don't care. Oh, size 8 in Australia will be like size 2 in America. I don't want to be a size 0. I don't want to be a person with a personality. No, I don't want to be the star of TikTok. The star of what? If that is even there anymore, I'm going to be my own self. I'm going to be my own self, and maybe I will reference like Charles Dickens, or I will reference Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm going to make my body or my mind or my methods of life be more like those other people that have lived many years ago, many even centuries ago. So there's going to be quite a big revivalist movement. I already talked about that in previous videos. You don't have to be there. You don't have to buy your time for that. But all of that glitz, that plastic face, the plastic life, the plastic credit cards, 2026, I don't know what's going to go there. I don't know. I have no idea. But okay, meaningful things have to start to take over you before 2032 happens. So 2030, 2032, people are looking for meaningful, real worthy people in society. They are so quick to judge in their judgment, and they can see things very fast. People's mannerisms, they're like little like, oh, that's not going to go anywhere. That's going to be very hard. That's going to be very hard. People that have grown themselves into personalities and have perfected a certain way in the world. Also people that have been taking money from people, obviously for nothing. People that have been actors or have been, I suppose, fraudulent, or people that have been very mean and by no mistake avoided. If you've ever been avoided, Aquarian person has no need to be alone, but very lonely Aquarians that have always tried to be a part of something and it passed you by is probably because of incredible meanness and sternness, as that is also part of the sign. And then, so we are coming into like really the age of Aquarius. We're coming into a very nice, simple, supportive, humble, and relatable world for a few people. Not everybody's going to be there, but there are going to be webs of light. There's going to be lots of people just living simply or trying to choose a simple life. Like 2035 isn't going to be about like, hey, I got a supermodel on my D123, bloodhound gang. It's not going to be that. It's not going to, sorry. Revivalism. Okay, it's not going to be that easy to be part of that game. It's not going to be easy to be part of that future. Also, there's going to be so much like, say, animal rights, animal cruelty, question marks. And it isn't going to be a big socialized thing. It's going to be a private inner vision of where we are. So quite a lot of people might get a little bit closed in, and they're going to have an inner judgment that they might not even face. They might not even send on any social media. So social media for a lot of people is going to be completely finished in 2035, 37. There's just not going to be anything to do with that or this or that, like the kaleidoscope of people and fashion and media and tits and ass and all of that, the big teeth. That's not going to be eventually a turn on for anybody. It's just not. And we're all going to start to want to do simple things like, I really enjoying this slice of bread. And that's going to be a very hypersensitive type of person that you don't expect right now to be very intelligent. So they're like, yeah, I'm chewing bread and I'm kind of like smelling the flavor and I feel the taste and I'm also breathing while I'm eating, and my God, my belly feels so full and good. So that's the kind of person that's probably going to be the most popular person or the more adequate person for the greater collective of people in the 2030s. We're going to forget, like a bad dream, quite a lot of stuff that we are right now seeing on TV, and that excessive, extensive futurism isn't going to have its place at the center of powerful groups of people. and social movements. It isn't the key point. And yeah, of course, we're going to have Barbies and Kens. That's going to consider itself free, cheap, and easy. I don't know if in 2040 is going to be sustainable, but okay. There's still going to be Barbie Ken, of course, but there's not going to be a future based on their shoulders, because their future, oh my God, the future of corrupt gaming and systems and like plastic visions of what life is. Even AI, my God, it's not going to be all that you think. So you guys are like making like, okay, not everybody. I'm not going to portray myself as a group dominator here, but I'm just going to say like all of that which we imagine the future to be, with the sky rising castles and the fake breasts and tits everywhere, and both things are the same thing. It's just like all the fancy bouncing castles and specialty treatment and gurus over here and gurus over there and luxury cars, anything like that. It's going to start to get eroded. It's going to be not the same as you wished. I think that we need to bring you up on other things, but there are definitely pockets in society that are all about, I will do my best to get that luxury vehicle. I will do what I can to make myself look like an artificial person. I will do anything I can to send my child to the school. I will do all I can to groom them into some kind of behavior, and I don't know what. So there's going to be always this on some kind of a bubbling second base. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like back burner. So there's always going to be all of these people still coming to the service. There's still going to be very crude, orchestrated behavior. There's going to be little czars of their little brand. And there's going to be lots of us wanting them to get out and walk away. There's going to be quite a fence of personalities. There's going to be people pissing all over society. There's going to be people actually pissing in public in front of their audience and considering it a kingly thing to do. So there's like little kings still in 2026 already. It's not going to be 2040 though. That's it, you guys. Sorry. 2000. What do we mean? 2040. All the riches, all that stuff online, all the, if you can imagine, all the big kids, all the big shoes, all the good things that people think they want, like I'm on a boat, all of that stuff, like I'm so cool, I'm so hot. Everything is going to just probably circulate in a very, very obvious downward spiral, like being flushed down the toilet. Floods. Maybe, no, it's just like water being flushed down the toilet, you guys, in a spiral. It's like things are just going to just, like you flush, push the button, goes down. And then we're going to ask you some very interesting questions. What did you go through? Like, how did you feel and why did you do it? So a lot of networks, if there is any really at the time, I don't know. People, wanting to know what people went through, how did they feel and how did they think and what did they know. So many things are possible. I'm trying to prepare for this very carefully. A lot of misguided energy and information, a lot of sad, sick, joking around and being kind of also boring in one's own plastic nature is going to just start to get absolutely inefficient. People that don't know anything or anybody, people that don't want to feel anything, they're just like after the prize. They just want to get the latest jeans. They just want to get the next extension to their iPhone's still going to be a iPhone, still going to be there. People are wanting to be somewhere in front of another. They want to still carry on the facade. And the joke is, nobody really wants them, but they don't understand that's how it is. And it's just like people dividing into different worlds and different characters and different parties and different truths and untruths. And so it's all just like there's scrap everywhere. 20, 41, 42. Scrap. Everything is just scrap. Scraps. Now we have to be very kind and gentle here. I'm not trying to make anything out of this today. It's 2023 now. I'm just telling you, it's a very, very hard job to also be who I am right now. Telling you all of this. Visions, I'm seeing visions and I'm talking. It's a very, very hard life, So basically, don't blow it. Don't spend your life on shit. Masking your pain with, I don't know, alcohol or trying to go there where you don't want to go, or being somebody, being a risk taker where you don't need to be. And basically, this is quite a hard thing for Aquarius to afford, is wholesomeness and holiness, and trying to hold their shit together without having it to spill overboard. Contamination, toxicity, people contaminating everything and everybody. I mean, 2040 is going to be a hard life. I mean, I'm looking right now out to the mountains, like this is all green. I'm here in Peru. It's all green. What is going to be left of it already in 2042? I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be the same as this is now. So I think we have to be also careful with that. I don't want to tell you too much, and I don't want to accidentally shock myself with my own advancements here. I just mean well, you know. So like when we are looking at what really counts and what is a treasure, it is the living world. It is not your socks. It is not your sexy bikini. It is not your fake boobs or your like bleached hair. It's not any of this now. Like when you think about things going, when you're thinking about like say things disappearing and things being no longer visible, like also some landmarks or some places in the world being no longer what they once were. So not having that bagel store next to your house, you know, is actually not a big idea. You know, imagine like not having like a mountain that you know very well. Maybe even a famous mountain in the world is not going to be there anymore. You know, it's like doing things on your own, I think, is a good idea. Not getting involved in other people's lives, and also not becoming a psychopath. I think quite a lot of people are going in that direction already. I think since the 90s, psychosis being one of the main counterparts to social civilization. And also, if you want to know this, sure, how much time do we have? Okay, it's been 31 minutes there. That's my leg here. We have to breathe through it and leave it all to rot that is going to rot. Try not to support any fake people or businesses. Try not to go there where you know there is just like nothing left. For example, commercial banks and systems and power-hungry individuals, all that stuff that is going on in the world. You might not really get to know yourself until you can dismiss probably half of it. I feel that most people are dealing with the devil and not knowing that they are. And they think it's so good to wear these amazing jeans. Look at these jeans, like these amazing black and white jeans. Look at these. Look, they can change color. Look, I push a button, they change color. Look at this. Like, you know, I can make anything I want. All this creativity. Creativity is a psychotic thing. I have to tell you, oh my God, I have to know myself better before I do this lecture, but most things that people really wonder about, like voice and singing and creativity and all of these things, all of these different power plays that people have, it's like, I got something you don't have, I got the next iPhone, you know, like all of this, that's sick. I'm going to look you in the face and I'm going to tell you that that is sick. Yeah, so the way basically that I know now is going to go is that we've got to be very basically careful with spending, careful with looking out there, trying to be a god, not telling people that we are who we aren't, not making people sad about what they've got, not feeling sad also about other people or who we are or aren't yet. I feel quite a lot of it will be shrouded in doubt later on anyway. I mean, 2048. 2048. I'm not trying to get you tired of me here. I'm not trying to like make you uncomfortable, but I am probably trying to wind down this like Plutonian spiral of joy. Okay, I'm trying to wind it down. The whole formula, basically, I'm gonna try to see this for you, is to get stronger and to get better and bigger. And yes, I do agree. Pluto is actually a very small planet, very small energy in our system. But it's very, very potent, and it has a lot of anger and frustration because it can't be seen. It kind of feels like it is the point of the world, it is the point of the universe. It has a very strong gravity field. Okay, now if you want, I can show you. It's like pushing one thing, pushing. So where does this lead me? I mean, if you're going to get very undoubtful and strong and well and brilliant during this time and not use it for just fluff and crap and rubbish is going to get flushed down the toilet in the end anyway. Sorry. If you want to really understand it, I think you need to really see where you are at in life struggling and just know that you aren't the king of everything. So for example, I can't walk up the hill without getting puffed. Work it out. I have a broken tooth. Okay, there's nothing to be kingly about, you know. Okay, I have thinning hair. Okay, that's something you have to work out. Okay, I have a lot of thoughts about things that I shouldn't have. Okay, well, continue or change. Okay, do something better. Do something better. Do something better. Make yourself open to change and to claim a better place after a while. A little bit of sit-ups, a little bit of yoga, a little bit, and maybe you'll progress a little bit. A little bit. Then you have to use a sustained energy, not to talk to anybody, not to be a wanker and tell everybody that you're like a yoga class instructor. Just wait up. Be an okay person. Okay, I've improved a little bit. I chewed some herb on this tooth, got better. Okay, I washed my hair with a different type of soap, got better. Okay, little things. Now that's very, very humbling for me. Like, imagine yourself as a little girl or boy. Pluto is ever youthful, actually. It's very mature. And then just feel it. It's like, wow, I have to be there at this time. I have to organize. My clients. I have to all organize my schedule. I have to be there on time. I have to be strong. You know, I have to be a good person to this person. I have to stop judgment. I have to stop eating so much. I got to cut down on the bread and the gluten. I got to cut down on violence. I got to stop trying that. I've got to stop thinking that I'm somebody that I can't be. I've got to stop lying about my weight or my size or my height. I have to be an okay person. I'm an okay person, and I am kind of just a small little kid at the end of the day. If you can be good with that, you'll get probably quite a lot done, and quite a lot will be given to you, but nothing is guaranteed with Pluto in your sign. Nothing is ever gonna be the way that you expect, and it's just about trying to see what's possible and getting that hunter tactic. Like, you know, that hunter. It's not about shooting things down. It's just about being more open to hunting, more open to feeling good about who you are, staying young, staying supportive also of other people, while trying to be somewhere else, away from them, trying to look out there and do things that probably nobody else could ever have done before you turned up. It's a very big activator sequence, but it's not about being an actor and a pretender. It's about being a very strong person. It's about being very strong and to stop all that lying and cheating and effing around and being somebody that you don't want to be in the end, because it's unsustainable. So 2050, 2056 isn't going to be that big a deal. It's not going to be that bigger change in time. So how to hack it, basically, go to like a shooting range, if you like. Go hunting. Some people in certain places in the world, there is hunting. In Africa, here in Peru, okay, there is a need to understand how that works. There is a need to understand how to aim and shoot for some people. There is a need to get close to the ground. Sports activity, army, yeah, organized groups. I'm sorry, this is so much. This is like 2056, 2050. I'm sorry, this is too much for some people. Okay, organized groups. Organizing things, being able to live on the land, being able to live in a freaking tent, being able to shit in a hole instead of like having a gold-plated toilet. How about that? Being okay about bathing yourself in the river, being alright about eating things that just, I don't know, grow around. Yeah, sure, get to know your terrain. Maybe a lot of it is edible. Huh? What about your kids also knowing a little bit about that? What about your children knowing like how to tell different birds apart? How to grow vegetables, cool. You know, how to be okay about who they are and how not to give in to this kind of flamboyance of the times. Like, you're gonna teach your little boy to be a girl. or you go to be like, don't waste your time. Teach them how to plant a freaking potato. How about that? How about that? How about like telling them, like, I don't know, a story or a song, teaching them something that comes from your ancestors, like giving them a little bit of the goodness, you know, good things, like giving them a little bit of something that matters, like telling them how to grow up faster instead of growing up slower, and staying out of the World Wide Web and all kinds of narcissism. So that's basically the main part, I suppose, I got to play in this little story. Please don't worry about your kids. Don't worry. Please forgive me if I like made you feel burdened. It is just such a tempting time to be a tempting person, and to be tempted, and to be attempting to do something that you don't want to do eventually, and it will not be viable to just the greater cosmos, the greater universe. Try to get slow. Very good. Okay, Pluto is good when you slow down. So that's basically all. Thank you so much for chatting to the 2023 version of Polina Outkina. Thanks so much for being my guys and my friends. Enjoy, and if you want to know more about me, there's probably stuff floating around on the web. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.